Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. He mihi nui, he mihi ki te ai, he mihi ki te whare e tūnei, ko whare whai ora no reira ki te whenua o rongo mā wahine. Tēnā koutou. Ko whakapūnaki tōku maunga, ko wairoa haupupu, hau nangi nangi mā, tangirau ta awa. Ko rua taniwha, tōku marae tūturu, no reira he taki timu te waka. Ko rongo mā wahine, no ko kahungunu, me ngā puhi oku iwi. Huhana mite, tōku ingoa. My name is Huhana Mete. My work is named Tumanako Enterprise Limited, and as far as Tumanako is concerned, you know that in 2012 my whole strategy of work is about Tumanako pure potential, and it is the art of teaching and learning and sharing pure potential with the world. In the story of Tumanako, I have these frameworks, and these pictures, there's 4 of them, and I guess they form for me a diamond, which is an old pattern of the pātiki looking like that, and that's the 4 corners, or the 4 winds, as we call in Māoridom, ngā hoe whā. And this first picture can illustrate who I am today, and this first picture is called Whakapapa. Whakapapa, in terms of Māoridom, is actually the ancient pathways of all life forms, and it's actually infinite. So if we have a look here, this is the story of the rangatira, and that each and every one of us in Māori culture is born as a gift, as a leader. And in terms of whakapapa, our whakapapa travels from the very beginning of time, and it also goes out to the infinite form of time. So when I first began in education, in Māori education in 1991, I was told by my elders that one of the most crucial pictures that I bring forward to our people when I'm teaching them is that of ako. And they explained to me that ako is a process of learning and teaching that is actually infinite, and that there are 360 degrees of looking, ways and perspectives of looking at things. And so that in traditional Māori learning and teaching, there was always an answer, because our whakapapa was about survival of the people. So you can actually go 360 degrees that way, but then you can actually go 360 degrees that way. And so the way in which we learnt was actually looking at a particular subject which we call kaupapa from many, many different perspectives. Now, I said to you, the story of whakapapa is about everyone's life, but it's also the story of all of us back through all our cultures. So in terms of my life, I actually whakapapa through from Ireland, from the Spanish Armada, from Scotland, from England, but the most precious whakapapa that I descend from, I guess, is from the Maori. And I say that because today I live in Aotearoa, and for the last 22 years I've taught over 5,000 iwi Māori and whānau Māori all over this country of Aotearoa, of all different ages, of all different subjects. And I have been lucky enough to be gifted this methodology of teaching which I call Tumanako Pure Potential. And I've been gifted that from trying to find the ways by which our people can reach their 360 or 720 dimensions of their true knowledge, so they can bring that out into the pure potential for the whole world. So looking at this work, I began working with Māori 22 years ago But in terms of being a teacher, I guess I can remember as a very young age, maybe 6 years old, that I was to be a teacher. It was my vocation. So one of the things in terms of whakapapa and traditional Māori cultures is the child. It's actually about the child. It's about the word moko puna. And moko is the tāmoko, the design that's patterned on our skin, but it's a deeper thing, because in terms of our world, the moko is also carved within the earth, within the universe. So every child that is born is actually being born to give gifts to the earth. Those gifts and those talents are already born within us all. And I guess for me, as a child of the universe, I was born to bring forth something that I believed that I was a teacher. So Tumanako Pure Potential today, in terms of my life, embraces me as a child, embraces the hardness and the struggles that I have had to live through, to grow up as a very young teenage mother, to be called Miss New Zealand when I went into the school classroom because I was speaking Māori to the children, and in those days it was Māori that were Miss New Zealands, right through to working in the corporate world and understanding that I had a really key instinct as a solo mother looking after my children to survive. And then working in terms of Māori education for the last 22 years, because the one thing I knew was the current system of education was not the system that had ever taken our people into pure potential. And although today in 2012 we have huge amounts of different Māori dimensions of education and learning, I still believe that we need to honour the Māori cultural wisdoms of who we are. And in terms of that, whakapapa is contained within the whānau. And I just look at my own children today, and between my partner and myself, having our 10 children and our 15 grandchildren, and everything that family requires, and that love of the land, and that love of their spiritual identity as Māori, and the love of us all together, trying not to live in this codependent world as a codependent family, but honouring and understanding their talents and gifts, and those were the things of traditional Māori, and those were the wisdoms that we carried, so that it really was about the survival of our people. And our people were embraced by the earth. We did not own the earth, we belonged with it. And in all of our stories, if we want to talk about this story here of whakapapa, Mother Earth, Father Sky, and the original children of them as a beautiful pattern of what it is in terms of whakapapa and uniqueness. So we have the story of Tangaroa and the carer, the guardian, kaitiaki of the oceans. We have Tāne Mahuta, the carer, the guardian of the bush, the ngahere, the healing plants, the birds, the insects, the honey. Tāwhiri Mātia, the story of that child born to be a kaitiaki of the winds, to plant seeds, to create hurricanes, to make sure that we've got storms, but at the same time to honour and understand the uanuku, the kahukura, and the aniwaniwa, the rainbows. Haumia tiki tiki, the fern roots, the natural foods that we can find from the earth that Mother Earth gifts us. This was all part of the way, and the way for today and our earth we need to find.